You want an honest man, but you don't understand. I won't be here when you wake up again.
Hello, guys. Another episode of Altitude and Trails podcast, and look at what we have today. Look at what we have. Ashlee Strange from New Zealand. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm so happy to have you here. I have to say, I'm a fan of your Instagram profile. It's just amazing, amazing. I
Oh,
always watch your stories and your adventures, and I hope we're gonna share a little bit of that in today's podcast. So to start, like every time, so we want to make sure that we got a good introduction. Who is Ashlee Strange?
um, me. I am a mother of two. I'm obviously a keen outdoors woman and a hunter. I like to get in the water as well for a bit of a free dive or a fish. Um, I live in a small beach town, so I'm pretty bit of a town girl. Not really a girly girl, but yeah, it's all right. And yeah, I grew up in a family of beekeepers, so bees are a big passion of mine too. Otherwise, yeah, I'm just your average girl, really.
I see there is a lot of outdoors there. So basically, guys, we have just the Kiwi copy of Lara Croft here. Just she free dive. She goes in the jungle. She's a good hunter, amazing one, guys. If you have a little bit of time, go spend to watch to watch and surf among all her galleries that she has on Instagram. I will put the link. I think it's Ashlee Strange, New
I just,
Zealand.
no, Ashley
No.
Hunt's NZ.
Okay, we're gonna put the link, guys, so you can't miss that. Okay, so okay, there's a lot of adventure here, but we want to understand how all of this started.
Okay, so I grew up with a dad. My dad was a really big, keen pig hunter. So for me, that's sort of where hunting began for me from a very early age. Pretty much as far as back as I can remember, Dad was a pig hunter. So I guess that's where hunting began. He's a really keen outdoorsman too, so he was always taking us out, camping, fishing, hunting small game is where it all started for us. But yeah, so I sort of grew up around it really. I was immersed in it in some ways.
You remember one of the first trip with your dad? How they're in the
I do,
jungle or fishing?
yeah, I do remember one trip that comes to mind with Dad, going pig hunting with Dad. I
Yeah.
had begged my mum to let me go. So she did this one time, and it was an experience. Let's just say I wasn't allowed to go back. I ended
So
up getting thrown up a tree.
wow. So mom was worried.
Yeah, my mum's not like, she's not opposed to it, but she's not into it at the same time. So she always sort of thought, I'm a girl and I should be doing girls things, but that wasn't really me. So she agreed to it. But when she heard about the pig running my way and being thrown up a tree, she wasn't too keen on letting me go back.
So that was your dad actually. You were looking at your dad like the adventure. So I'm gonna stick to my dad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get all the best adventures that. So when more or less you started, when you were what, 3, 4 years old or later?
Um, when I went pig hunting with Dad for the first time, I was about 7 or 8.
Wow.
But
Okay.
as far back as I can remember, we were out, shooting rabbits and possums and small game over here with Dad, from a very early age. We sort of just tagged along with him to go to work or go eeling while he was at work, or just everything outdoors, really.
So mom actually with the time she gave up on the girly concept and she said, I mean, I can't do anything with this one probably.
Pretty much. I've got an older sister and she's the complete opposite to me. So she's really
Oh,
girly and she's
yeah.
not into hunting. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's
mum kind of
interesting.
thought,
That's interesting because I'm a dad and I have two daughters, and I still trying to understand which one is the backcountry girl and which one is the girly girly.
Yeah.
For the moment, I just have one answer. They are animals. They are
Yeah.
wild like hell, and I'm so happy about that. The
Yeah.
only one that it's a little bit balanced. It's the my wife. That she's really in a type of zoo with me and the two daughters, so it's really tough. But anyway, we will see. I mean, I think it's the best thing is never force, never trying to push towards some direction that the kid will not like. I think that if they can express, and this country is just amazing for that. If they want to express themselves in the outdoors, it's just they have huge possibilities. I have to say.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
and I mean, so you recognize them that was the big influencer of
Yeah,
your
hunting.
yeah
Yeah,
hunting. Nice,
yeah.
nice. So actually, you learn most of the technique, most of the stalking. You will say you. How did you learn that by yourself or just like confronting with that?
So yeah, my passion for hunting began with my dad. And then I kind of really got really stuck into hunting, I guess you could say, when I met my husband. He's a keen hunter as well. And so I sort of, one of that saying, if you can't beat him, join him. So I sort of started, going with him a bit more, and then the kids came along. So I got two boys, and I wanted even more for them to be brought up the same way I was brought up. So I kind of got a bit thrown in the deep end in some ways because I had the kids. When they were very young, it was a bit harder to go hunting, all of us as a family. So
Yeah,
I started solo hunting, and at first, yeah, it was freaky as hell, but it was kind of good in some ways because it pushed me into a bit of the unknown, and I got to rely on my own skills and learn in my own way how to hunt. So now I love going out by myself solo hunting. Very rarely do I really go with my husband because we have
yeah,
the kids. We do
yeah,
go all together, but to get a really good hunt in, I most of the time I'm by myself. So
yeah.
yeah, like I said, I enjoy it. You rely on your own skills. You're not relying on someone to tell you how to do this or what you should be doing. And yeah,
Nice. So anyway, yeah, you from even the stories that I've been following, you really an experienced hunter, and I see that you can change dynamics and background and location really easily because I've seen you on the mountains, I've seen you in the jungle, and I see you in the deep water. So
yeah.
how you adapt yourself on this different location? You just you switch easily because you are a super badass, or you you you
It
because
sounds
I
good.
mean that's doesn't happen so easily. I come from Europe,
Yeah.
and already when we see that and hunter it normally practice in east lands. That means like a forest, probably it's in the subalpine country, or more in the mountain. Like for example, our fellows in Altitude and Trails Project, they are alpine hunters. But for example, they are stick to this kind of if you want to say habitat. It's
Mhm.
really amazing to see that actually you can do anything. So
Mm.
how you switch on those kind of different type of hunting?
Oh,
Give us your secrets. Come on, don't keep for
yeah, I
yourself.
don't know if there is a secret, to be honest. I don't know. I guess you just learn to adapt.
Yeah,
Like predominantly I hunt in the bush,
yeah,
but yeah, the water side of things, it's very similar to hunting on land in some ways. You're still stalking, a fish or whatever your prey or whatever you're trying to catch. So it is very similar. It is quite obviously quite different in some ways as well because you're holding your breath, but I guess it comes with the same old thing, practice, practice, practice. So I'm still very new to the free diving, but I'm pretty keen and I'm a very determined person. So
oh,
for
that's we're
me,
sure about that. I can see. That's wow. That's for sure. So Wow,
Yeah.
the adaptation actually it's something probably is good to develop in every daily life context. I have to say, not just hunting, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's true that yeah the stalking. I've practiced a little bit of free diving myself as well, but I was not really next to the sea, so that
Yeah.
activity after was impossible to
Mm,
keep on going.
yeah.
But it's true what you said about the stalking. If you have that kind of methodology, it could be applied for any type
Yeah.
of pursuit, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's dig into your um, hunting style. Which is your favorite type of hunting? And then I'm gonna
Hmm.
ask you another things after.
Okay. I would have to say deer stalking would probably be my favourite. Followed closely by the tar. I really enjoyed that. I live in the North Island, so we don't have tar up here, but South Island,
Yeah.
when I can get down there, I've been twice this year, but I'd love to get back into doing a bit more of that, a bit more of a challenge on the body, and it's just such different terrain than the bush.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but
But
I do mostly bush hunting. So
bush hunting actually it's tough as well.
yeah, definitely, it has its different variants, and yeah, I think so. But
Especially the stalking, because I mean you are with some the animals that we're talking about, deers mostly, and they're super skittish animals. So stalking in an environment where you're surrounded by vegetation and you have the deer is so much more developed than you in terms
yeah.
of senses. So, which is the most difficult part that you face in this type of hunting, like stalking a deer in the jungle?
um yeah, it would. Yeah, there's a lot of different variants. So yeah, yeah, it would be like you said, the dense vegetation and whatnot, trying to sneak in on an animal when you've got trees and branches and leaves and everything.
Yeah,
You've got to try and sneak in quietly, and it's
yeah,
sometimes can be a challenge. Obviously, the wind still plays a factor in that, so trying to get around on an animal and whatnot. Where you shoot an animal and trying to get
yeah,
it out, sometimes
yeah.
that can be a bit of a challenge as well. So yeah, it's definitely got its challenges, but yeah, quite different from the mountain hunting, but
Yeah.
still, yeah,
So
still the
in
same.
in all the sides of this hunting, actually, it's good to be prepared, and I have to see. I mean, probably the guys are gonna go on your profile on Instagram. They're gonna get the big pictures of that. But you're someone that trains a lot as well,
Yeah.
really a lot. And so how often during the week you train?
um, I do some form of exercise probably 6 out of 7 days a week, if not
Wow,
7.
wow,
I enjoy it. I enjoy being active and getting out there. So that as a plus, I guess. And then I just for the hunting side of things, it's definitely a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable to be fitter than it is to be unfit when you're up in the hills and trying to carry out an animal or
yeah. Which is the part that you train the most, or you're trying to mix both? Is the cardio or the muscle parts? So, which one is the most important you think about for a hunter? Is to put muscle that will gonna help in different situations, like carrying something, or more like it develop a good cardio?
I think it's definitely a mix. I try and mix my activities up quite a bit. Certain times of the year I'll do more cardio than and more strength, but I try and mix it up. So I mix it up with trail running. I do quite a bit of trail running, up hills and whatnot. I do kickboxing as well for a bit of a high intensity training, which is quite cool, which I enjoy. And then the gym for some strength. So I think it's important to have a bit of everything, to be honest. You need that strength in order to carry out
Yeah,
an animal, or and then you need that cardio for that endurance as well. So
yeah.
I try
So
and mix a bit of everything.
you reminds me a little bit on a quote of Bruce Lee that said that to be prepared for the fight, you have to train every single muscle of your body. So yeah, so guys, I told you that we have a copy of Lara Croft here. She even did boxing, and then it's amazing to discover all this. So, and back to the hunting, it's like,
Mm,
w- which part of the hunting you prefer the most? Because today we are, especially on Instagram, we seen that people trying to show different part of hunting. The sensitivity's changed, I have to say. The harvest is showing in a good way. There's more respect for the animal, I have to say.
yeah.
But which is the part that it's the most interesting for you when you are out there?
Um, I enjoy the stalking, to be honest. I enjoy getting in as close as I can. I often take just the camera out with me. I like to take photos, so I sort of challenge myself with the camera to get as close as I can. So I quite enjoy that side of things, trying to outwit an animal.
So that's like the close range content is it's the
Yeah,
adrenaline rush. Yeah, I
yeah,
see that.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've seen that you are even a bow hunter.
I wouldn't call myself a bow hunter yet.
No, but I've seen that you practice a lot as well.
I'm
So
I've started, yes, I've decided that I need another challenge for some reason.
wow, because
And
you don't
so
have
I thought,
enough.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm a bit like that. I love a challenge. So it's like, why not have another one? But I have picked up the bow, and I sort of got the bow about, oh no, maybe a year ago, but I never really fully committed to it. I sort of had it there and had a dabble every now and then, but I've decided more recently that I need to really give it a good go. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I have been practicing my little heart out the last few weeks,
Okay.
and
So
I'm actually heading off this weekend to go for a hunt with
ooh.
it. So
Oh, guys. So
yeah,
that's something to follow up on your Instagram. I'm sure you're gonna publish something
hopefully, if I'm lucky.
exciting. The
Yeah.
difference between the two, rifle hunting and bow hunting. What do you think about that?
Mm. Oh, I think it's very different. I'm not a very patient person. So for me, that's been a real struggle to have that patience and to not get frustrated, I guess, and to get past that frustration and to carry on.
Yeah,
So at times I've wanted to throw it a few times, but I've persevered and decided no, I'm going to really give it a good go, and I'm very determined. And there's been a few people, there's always someone that likes to say something horrible to you. So I had a few people say a few things, get a rifle, put the bow away. And so I thought, no, I'm determined and I'm going to prove you all wrong, and myself, I guess. And yeah, so I've given it a good go this time, I think. And
yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it, a new challenge. Yeah.
I received those type of comments as well, and they say, "What the hell you do with a bow?" And the fact is that okay, I recognize that it's a little bit more tough with the bow, but when I'm talking for myself, I don't want to talk for so many people because I'm trying to just share what I think and my opinion. And when you out there with a bow, it doesn't matter if I get back to the car with an harvest with an animal, but if I got that animal at close range, first is already a big challenge. Second, if I
Yeah.
can get that successful, it's another big challenge. So at the end of it, my animal, it's probably the final goal after so much effort.
Mm.
It pays me off after. I mean, that's what I'm looking for. I practice also rifle hunting, but lastly in France, and yeah, I switched more on bow hunting. I have to be honest, because the
Mm.
challenge is bigger, and then perfection that is involved into that, it's huge.
Yeah. And a lot of people say the rewards are just so much more,
Yeah,
because it's such a challenge. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah, I'm definitely. I see some big things coming from that. Your determination it's really it's a titanic thing, I have to say. And
yeah.
now I'm curious to before getting in another topic, I'm curious to know which is your best, or which was your best expedition. I mean, if we want to reset now, and we would just want to pick up one
Oh, one.
expedition.
I'm
Yes.
thinking of two.
You just have to pick up one.
Okay.
Okay, you can describe two if you want, and we're
Okay.
gonna pick up one.
So my first one would have to be my first tar hunt. So
Oh.
being from the North Island, we don't have tar here. So it was the first time, one, tar hunting, and two, seeing a tar in my life. So that was pretty amazing. And I was very lucky enough to spot my first tar and shoot it, and it being a 12-inch tar. So, I mean, sorry,
Nice.
a 13-inch bull. So I was very stoked.
How much was?
13 inches. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's exciting.
So I was really stoked, and I got one of the guys that took us out, me and my husband. He was saying a few nice words to me because he hadn't shot something that big before.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really cool. And I shot him in the evening, and we couldn't retrieve him because it got a bit dark. So we headed down the following morning once the clag had gone, and we got down there and we took the rifle with us. And my husband was lucky enough to, once we got down there, I spotted a chamois buck, and so he shot a 9.5-inch chamois buck. So it was a really cool trip.
Oh, that's
it
a
was
cool
really
trip.
awesome.
That's a cool
Yeah.
trip. Nice.
Yeah, so that was
Wow.
definitely up there. And then the other one that comes to mind would have to be my first deer that I harvested with both of my boys there. That was a pretty special moment that, I'll always cherish. So that was pretty cool.
How old are your boys?
Jack is 7 and Zeb is 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
still getting to a good age now, but yeah, they're still young.
Yeah. So that's really an exciting expedition for the listener. So Ashlee is talking about tar, and I think if people that have been watch a little bit of podcast Altitude and Trails and seen that we talk about tar a lot. Is this kind of really, really strange looking goat that comes from Himalaya. And when she's talking about inches, it's like here in New Zealand, the trophy is measured in inches. And a good entry trophy, it will start, you will correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the Kiwi. It will be, what, 12 inches?
12 inches for a bull, yeah.
So she got a 13 inches. It's not something that you're going to find every day.
No.
Not at all. I mean, there are people probably that on public land, they get a 13 inches after years and years of hunting, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's a big reward. It's an animal that, how old was that animal? You remember?
I believe he was about 8.5 to 9 years old.
Yeah. So it's an animal that have done a lot in his career in terms of reproduction. So it's a perfect harvest in terms of ethic, in terms of the good impact on the population. Impressive again, Lara Croft. So so okay, your boys now, that is another interesting part, because she's not just a badass, she's even a mother. So we have to add this information as well. So what about your relationship with your boys? How is mommy? I mean, mommy is that thing that we have to follow 100% because she goes in the bush, in the jungle. How is that? I'm really tricky to understand that. It's really.
Yeah, so they have been coming out hunting since they were about 2 years old, both of them. So they were in the backpack or the front pack. Not huge hunts, like, just what they can stand. But they have, now they're getting older, they're getting more into the walking and, coming for a hunt and whatnot. But I wanted them to be brought up the same way I was brought up. That's the way I was brought up, and I think it's a good way to be brought up, and they're really into it. Like, it's never like I've forced them to come with me. If they didn't want to, they didn't have to, that kind of thing. I've not forced them to shoot an animal or anything like that. I think it's better off to let them when they're ready. My boy Jack, this year, he's 7, he shot his first goat, like first big game, I guess, for New Zealand here. So he shot a billy goat, which, you know, I never said anything. He said to me one morning, Mum, I want to shoot a goat. And I quietly was just like, yay, like, it's cool, so excited. So I was like, all right. So him and I went for a hunt.
Yeah.
And he nailed it, pulled off a really good shot. And it was a really cool moment to share with him. But my 4-year-old is absolutely mad on hunting. He's obsessed. I've created a monster.
Oh yeah.
But it's really cool. He loves every aspect of it. You know, he's got everything I have in wooden form. So he's got a wooden knife and sheath and a belt and a gun, and he's got a bow. He's got a binoculars, everything wooden version of mine. And, you know, we went out in the raw. They've been coming to the raw with us for a few months. And he's got everything, you know, carrying it all up the hill in his gumboots. It's just great. He actually called in his first deer last year's raw, and he was so excited. It was really cool. So they love it just as much as I do.
It's amazing how you can see kids that experience the outdoors and the nature. I think that I don't know, but I always feel that I come from a background like this. My father brought me to the mountains a lot before starting this passion, and I feel like nature it's one essential thing for the first part of your growing.
Definitely.
I feel like you can express. I mean, the kid can express himself like widely. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And understand what is actually life. What is the most curious question that they ask you, the boys, when they were out there hunting?
Gosh, we've been coming for a while now, so it's pretty in tune. But I don't know. They pick up on all of it. You know, like from my 4-year-old. You know, he's out there looking for deer rubs and footprints, and every aspect of it they just enjoy. And I guess it can be quite a challenge to take kids hunting. It takes a lot of patience. You know, they're not quiet, so you've got to be prepared for that. But you've got to make it fun too, you know, for them to enjoy it. You've got to include them in it to, you know, the point of, you know, here, have a little backpack with you, you know, your own binoculars or something like that. So they actually find it fun, because if you're just dragging them along and they're not going to enjoy it, you're not going to enjoy it. And yeah, like I said, they just enjoy all aspects of it. And I am really keen on teaching them those things, like this is a footprint of a deer and this is a pig, and you know, for them to learn those things, I think it's important. And I think that hunting teaches them so many good life skills, you know, respect, patience, determination. I think there's just so much they can take from it, you know, to bring into their own adult childhood.
And what you said is really, really nice, that when they learn a lot when they are part of it. The fact that not just being like viewers or spectator, that just sitting there and seeing what is happening, but being part of it. I think it's a big jump to the learning curve. So
definitely.
That's amazing. So your boys actually they get even to experience the entire process, because I seen that. I mean, from the harvest, you collect the meat, you bring the meat home, and then they eat it.
Yeah. So they know where their meat comes from.
So most of the meat that comes from is from the bush, actually.
Yeah.
Only a big part of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. And I've seen that you prepare. That's a curiosity of mine. You prepare even your own skin.
My own skin. Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I've tanned
Wow,
on my own
I've seen
hide.
some pictures, and they look amazing. Do you do all the process by yourself?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Wow.
I kind of just one of those things, you know, new challenge and all.
Yeah, again.
Sort of thought, you know, why not give it a go and see if I can do it myself? I know it's not expensive to get done, but it's a different feeling when you've done it yourself. You know, it's like, I guess, like hunting. When you've hunted something yourself, it has a different meaning. So I thought, I'll give it a crack, and then I started with one, and my floor's a bit like a carpet of deer skins at the moment.
So that was
Stop.
tough.
Pardon?
That was tough to realize the first skein. I mean that's I did on the roe deer a couple of those, but actually it's if you don't use the right ingredients or
Yeah.
you messed up with the dosage, actually the skin can become too much thick or not elastic, not
Yeah.
soft enough.
Some can be quite stiff and not soften. Yeah. So I watched a bit of YouTube and had tutorials and watched that, and I thought, yep, that's it. I'm going to have a crack. So I brought a tanning kit, just a home tanning kit, and went from there. And I learned, I did the first one. It wasn't amazing, but then the second one I did better, and to you sort of pick up things that you can do differently and learn along the way. But yeah, they haven't actually turned out that bad, to be honest.
Amazing. So actually there is no waste. You use everything from your harvest.
Yeah.
And guys, for the listener of this podcast, because some of you will not listen to this podcast on YouTube, and I'm watching the background of Ashlee, and my eyes can stop to go left and right because she's like, I don't know, there is a fallow deer on the right.
You can't see you. There's so much in front of me.
There are fallow deers everywhere. There is a big, I don't know, it's a trout.
Do you want me to
It's a
show
huge
you?
trout. Yeah,
I'll
show
see
me
if I
because
can show you. Oh, I don't know if
so
you can
curious.
see. There's a
Oh my
goat
gosh,
up
now
there.
antlers everywhere, guys. Now she showed me, oh wow, fallow deers everywhere, chamois. Wow.
Yeah, there's a few.
It's intense. It's intense,
There's a
guys.
few.
I'm having a super nice time.
This is just one room.
Yeah, that's wow. Okay.
And my tar is still yet to come. It's hopefully next month.
It's not home yet. Okay,
no,
so
not home yet.
You sent to a taxidermist in the south?
Yep.
Okay. So how long it takes is a shoulder mount?
Yeah, I just got a shoulder mount. Yeah, and then I got its skin done as well. So I brought another skin, a winter skin, because it was in March. So he still had a nice coat, but it wasn't the big shaggy mane that I really wanted. So I brought another skin for the shoulder mount, and then I've got his skin to put on the floor.
Wow. So the house is going to have a big tar as well now.
Yeah.
I think
I run out of room. I need a bigger house.
Yeah, it looks like now you have a museum of all the big games of New Zealand out there.
Yeah.
So guys, if you are on North, just quick call to Ashlee to get a ticket for her private museum. So nice. So yeah, that's, oh my god, I'm loving this podcast and we're discovering so much things. It's so interesting. Message for all the mothers out there. For the mothers that probably look at the outdoors like something good for the kids, or probably they're already doing it, or they want to do it. What do you think? What the message will be?
Oh, gosh, it's a hard one.
It's a hard one.
For those that are looking at getting out into the outdoors with their kids, I guess it would just be do it. Give it a go. It's not going to be easy to begin with. Like I said, kids are not easy, especially when you're trying to be quiet because you're trying to hunt or whatever. But you've just got to make it fun. Like, don't expect too much from them to begin with anyway, or ever, to be honest. Take heaps of snacks with you. That's always a good one. But yeah, just get out there and give it a go. I think it's quite cool to, I guess, for the kids side of things. Like, I know my little boys, they love the fact that their mum goes out, into the outdoors and goes hunting and does this and that, and it's not just dad. It's quite it's quite different, I guess, for them. But yeah, I don't know. Just get out there and have a go, and you never know until you try it. Whether you're going to enjoy it or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is quite cool to go out as a family as well, mum, dad, and everyone.
But I guess your kids actually, they want to see that because they they probably in their eyes to see mommy so excited every time that you have to go out there. So they
Yeah.
want to get a little bit of that part that say, oh, where she's going, where she's going. Probably they can feel it even if there is no word communication.
Yeah. Yeah, they
I'm
know,
sure
like
100%.
when, regardless of whether I harvest an animal or not, when I come back from a hunt, I'm a better person, I'm a better mum, like it's just that nature, you must know what it's like when you get into nature, and it's just
Yeah,
that, that recharge and that feeling. So when I get back, they know regardless, it's just, yeah, I'm a better person for it. Yes, not that I'm a horrible person anyway, but you know.
yeah,
But I think too, for women, I think it's an empowering, I think it's such an empowering feeling for a woman to go out there, harvest an animal, and do all that, and not have to rely on a man or someone else. It's such a
yeah,
cool feeling
yeah,
knowing you can do that. You can feed
exactly.
your children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's super super. I mean, I'm into it because like raising my kids and two daughters, I don't want to raise them like they have to be, that depend on someone else
Mm.
stronger,
Yeah.
because I don't believe in that concept. And
Yeah.
so I have to say that my elder daughter, she's 4, and it's strange how she picking up characters. Yeah, and
Mm.
today, like every time there is a new Disney movie, and she pick up different characters. I'm not forcing anything, and
Mm.
so there is a lot of Elsa from Frozen. Sometimes we got how it's called, because it's not easy, to follow these things. I have to update every time because she talked to me and she said, oh, she did this, and if I don't know it, it's gonna be a big problem. So I'm trying to go with the best character that she picked up for probably was like recent. This is not the new Disney thingy that's coming. I don't know if it's Disney. It's called Raya, and she's like just these trailers, and she's half of a ninja, half of a Thailand fighter. And I was like, yes, another good one. I
Yes.
prepared this one to the Elsa, that because when I have to pick up, big dress and stuff, that's not for me. So when she's more into the action and dynamics, I love it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then and yeah, it's pretty good. Nice.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about the free diving. I'm curious to see
Mm.
that it's because I practice a little bit, but the
Mm.
preparation is not the same. Do you do some kind of like when you prepare for your stalk in the mountain and the bush? For free diving, you do some kind of different workout because, of course, it's a lot more into the breathe
Mm.
techniques.
Yeah, it's a lot to do with free diving, a lot to do with breath hold. I'm not amazing at it, but I can't go as deep as others. No, nowhere near as deep as some others, and hold my breath as long. But same thing, it comes with practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it. You can practice in a pool if you're really, really keen, and there are in New Zealand here you can go to free diving courses and learn a
Yeah,
lot of the different techniques. But yeah, I sort of just wing it. I've got people around me that are into free diving and have done it quite a bit, or I've done it for a number of years, that have shown me things, or I've gone out with them. Recently, I went out with a couple of local guys. One was a commercial diver, so he was diving 30 plus meters
wow.
and sitting there for 45 seconds. And so, yeah, amazing, some of them.
That's
And yeah, so he said to me, just the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. It expands your lungs and your eardrums and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, I learned a lot from them. You just pick up things that they do, and they let you in on a few secrets. So yeah, I'm lucky enough to live in a town where it's sort of at I guess my back door in some ways, the ocean. So I don't go out as often as I probably should, but it's hard when you've got hunting and both
Oh
aspects.
yes,
You're trying to fit it all in
but your schedule is tough.
tight.
Your schedule is tough. So
Yeah.
how many meters more or less you are comfortable with?
Oh, I don't go that deep. I'm probably like not very often, not like 10 meters or so.
That's
But then I
that's
don't,
already
yeah,
that's
I
already
haven't
something.
found that I've needed to yet. But like I said, I'm still very much learning.
Yeah.
But yeah, the crays and all that crayfish and whatnot that we have here aren't very deep. So if you're doing a cray dive, they tend to be in the shallow or in the rocks, you know, at 10 meters or less. So that's where I
Nice.
started, and then I picked up the spear gun more recently, and you know, shooting some fish and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah. 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 I'm gonna see you in the movie probably in the upcoming future.
I think so.
So yeah, to hand it's been amazing. I love it, this podcast, and I think we get out so many good concepts, and I love it. Like even the last one you just said, more you practice and more
Yeah,
you just learn it, and more you're gonna be better at it.
yeah,
Everything's in this world, I think, is based on this kind of quote.
yeah.
So to end this podcast in an exciting way, we want to know the next challenge of Ashlee Strange. What is going to be your next big challenge? Make
Oh,
your own coat and goes with the skin out in the bush, like
my
clothes.
my
Your own
clothes. Oh
clothes.
no. I'm lucky enough to have been sponsored by clothing, so I don't have to make my own.
But it would
But
be a challenge to make the clothes with the skin, deer
oh,
skin.
the skin, oh, the deer skin clothes.
Yeah. That would
I don't
be
know how well
that
that
would
would go
be
downtown.
that would be primal. That would be really primal.
Thing. But yeah, the challenge. Oh, I guess it's my challenge. Well, I've got the bow at the moment, so I'm really keen to shoot a deer with my bow. That's probably my next one on my list.
That's a nice
Um,
challenge.
yeah, so that's probably my next on my list, to do that and just get better at the bow, to be honest. I've got some plans up the pipeline to go on a hunt with Kimmy Greentree, which will be really cool over in
Oh,
Aussie.
nice. Yep. Yep.
So I
yep.
need to start getting in my bow practice to keep up with her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So that's a cool goal and hunt to go on. So yeah, shoot a deer with my bow, and then I guess take it from there and see what else I can
Nice.
get with it.
Nice. It's
I don't know
all
if I'll
about
take up anything new yet. I think I've got enough on my plate. I'd really
amazing.
like to get a chamois as well. Chamois buck I'd like to get. I haven't got one of those myself yet.
So
that's
you're gonna move any that's actually you have to move to the south for that type of animals. You don't have those goats on the north actually.
no.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I have to go
yeah.
to the South Island for that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Nice. We're at the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for this how much we 43 minutes together. I was so glad to have you in this podcast. Thank you. And guys, again, we're gonna put the link for her Instagram account. I'm sure you want to see this kind of photos. You want to see the upcoming stories. It's full of adventures. We don't know what is gonna be the next, but
Neither
it's
do
worth
I.
it. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's worth it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Bye, Ashlee. Bye, bye,
Bye.
bye.